Hey guys, welcome back to Epic Agents, the Best in Real Estate podcast. This video contains highlights of my interview with Ryan Grafton, episode 58 of the podcast. Ryan is the founder of Grafton Capital Group and Grafton Elevate Coaching. And Ryan specializes in helping real estate agents attract investor clients. I think you're going to find this episode really interesting. Super appreciative to Ryan for joining. For the entire podcast episode, you can stream from our website, epicagentspodcast.com. All right, so here's Ryan Grafton, highlights from episode 58. Yeah, and the investor client that's a different persona, isn't it, than what we're typically used to. Can you shed a little bit of light on that?
Yeah. So the biggest thing with investor clients, and speaking from experience and being in the field with other investors for years and years, is we're logical people and we're not emotional people. And that's the biggest difference between, I feel like, the retail buyers that are just, buying their forever home versus a guy that just wants to come in there and buy a duplex, right? Because they're looking at the numbers. They're looking at, the appraised value, the after repair value, what they can get for rent, ROI, all that kind of stuff. And you'd be surprised how many agents don't even know what a cap rate is. And to start there, just learning the language of what investors talk about and what we look for puts you ahead about like 90% of other agents, because they don't know, they don't understand, and they haven't taken the time to learn it. Whereas the agents that do know how, they're getting those repeat buyers over and over again.
Yeah, that's going to win some major points right away. Just being able to, it's going to put you ahead of 95% of agents.
Exactly.
If you can just speak a little bit of the investor's language, right? And understand and be able to relate to their motivations.
Well, and how to analyze properties too, right? Like, agents don't know how to, going back to the cap rate. If you don't understand what a cap rate is, how are you going to find the value of the home to begin with, let alone looking into cash on cash, ROI, all that other kind of stuff? So if you don't understand the language first and then how to analyze them, you're not going to work with investors.
Do you want to give our listeners a quick cap rate tutorial? Can you do it in under a minute?
Yeah. So basically the cap rate, so it's market dependent, right? Like, so I'm up in Canada. So the cap rate in Vancouver is going to be a lot lower than maybe where I'm from, which is a smaller town. And the cap rate is basically, you're taking your NOI and you're dividing it by the cap rate, which in our area is in between 6 to 7%. And that's going to give you what the value of the property should be. And that's just the quickest way to do it. And you can combine, or you can compare market to market, property to property, just with that. And that's not the be all end all, but that's a really good place to start when you're comparing two properties or two markets.
I love that you brought up that the investor client is, they're logical, they're not emotional. It's all about the bottom line at the end of the day.
That's it.
And does it pencil out? Right.
Yeah.
Does it check the boxes and pencil out?
Yeah. And honestly, we don't care about countertops and the color of cabinets or where the Christmas tree is going to go, right? Like, we don't care about that stuff. We just want to see if what it's going to rent for and how much money we're going to make in the long run. That's it.
I've had investors even tell me, "Hey, the uglier the better."
That's it. That's it. The uglier the better. The worst house on the best street.
I think that, depending on one's personality, being a full-time investor agent might be a great fit for some personalities, for sure. Share a little bit of an overview. Like, what's the name? What do you call your program, your coaching program? And let's talk about a little bit of an overview of what that looks like.
Yeah, sure. So it's Grafton Elevate Coaching, and I'm working one-on-one with real estate agents, and we're leaning into getting more into a group setting as well, because there's value in collaboration. There's value in bringing different thoughts to the table and having a bigger group setting. But basically, with my clients right now, we go over where they are right now, what's worked in their business, what hasn't worked in their business, and how do we get to those goals? Because I think it was 88% of real estate agents quit within the first 5 years. Like, that's ridiculous. That's a huge amount, because you're not putting the systems in place. You don't have your calendar booked. You don't have it time blocked. You're doing $10 hour tasks versus your $1,000 an hour tasks. And we can get into VAs and hiring VAs and all that kind of stuff. But we take your business as an overview, and we push you in the direction of how to talk to investors, how to find investors, how to analyze properties. All of these things are going to lead you to working more with investor clients. And eventually the idea is you build out your team, you build out your clientele, and eventually you're investing yourself if you're not already. But it's going to help you um, with learning more about investments, partnering opportunities, because like often I've partnered with my real estate agent before on a job because or on a project because it worked. So it leads to a whole bunch of opportunities. So what we do, again, take your business from where it is now, where you want to go, and we come up with a custom plan for you. So one of my clients is out in Ontario, and she's got a 90-day roadmap on where she was when we started, and we're 4 weeks in, and she's already hosting an investor meetup this month. She's hosting a webinar this month. Like, she's making the moves to build that authority within her market, where investors are going to start to see that, hey, agent XYZ, she knows what she's talking about investors and investments, and I want to go work with her. That's the idea.
A couple of concepts and words that stood out to me. Rewinding a little bit, you started out by talking about systems, and yeah, I think that having that's worth underscoring how important systems and processes are that to a successful enterprise, whether it's a real estate agent or really any kind of business owner,
Any
right?
business owner, any entrepreneur, man, systems are key.
I think it was James Clear that said, uh, "Build systems, not goals."
Is that in Atomic
And
Habits?
I think so.
Just
I
read that.
think
Yeah,
so.
I just
I
read that.
think that, yeah, yeah, great, awesome book.
Made it.
I haven't picked it up in a couple years, but I've read it a few times, and yeah, I for a while in my email newsletter, I was quoting James Clear at the end of each email newsletter, like every month. But
Absolutely.
I've given readers a little bit of a break on that.
Yeah,
But yeah, but yeah, I think it was, and I know that he also, preaches that you don't rise to the level of your talent, but you fall to the to the level of your systems.
exactly.
Um, so anyway, that was great. Also, the time,
Yeah,
doing time, leveraging your time in such a way that it maximizes your business. So those $10 an hour tasks are best outsourced, right? For sure.
absolutely. And one of the easiest ways to do that is do a time audit on your entire day. Now you can do this through AI and you can do this online, or you can just go the old school route and print out a sheet of paper that has 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night or whatever it is, and write down exactly what you did every hour on the hour, like recap what you did that block of time. And then at the end of the week, you'll be surprised how much time you wasted on $10 hour tasks where you could have hired that out, and which would have given you 10, 20 hours of your week back to go hang out with the people that are paying you the money, the clients. That's where you should be. You shouldn't be doing your paperwork at home in the morning. You should be out networking, having coffee with clients, or hosting a webinar or anything like that. So just changing that mindset. And I talk about this a lot in some of my content. It's a lot of real estate agents treat this as a job. It's a business. And when you treat it like a business, that's when things get like bigger, and that's where you can scale, and that's where you get clear with everything you have to do. And you're not wasting your time doing those $10 hour tasks.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, entrepreneurship defined is basically you've been able to remove yourself from the process.
Yeah,
Right. And and then your days are made up of just making one or two decisions a day,
exactly.
and one or two high level decisions a day.
And have you ever
The other,
have you ever read the book Who Not How by Dan Sullivan?
it's been recommended so many
And
times. That's one that I haven't read. I can't believe I haven't read it yet.
yeah, read it, because
Uh,
that's the concept. Like, there's
yeah.
somebody else that can be doing this job for you. Make sure you get those people to do the job, because that's where you can't. I'm not good at everything in my business. I don't hardly even know how to work my CRM, but my VA does. And that's where that time is best spent.
The other thing you mentioned too is, real estate agents need to be uh, investing in
Yeah.
real estate, right? There's no reason why you shouldn't be growing your business to a point where you are also an investor.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things one of the reasons I got my real estate license was to, I don't know if this sounds shady or not, but have first dibs on all the properties that come up, right? Like, we're
Yeah,
seeing those first.
absolutely.
So like, I mean, I bought a few properties while I was a real estate agent because I got them on my desk first. And it's like, do you know any clients that would like this? Yeah, me. I want this.
Hmm.
So it's a great opportunity. And then if you're working with investor clients, who better to teach you what they do, how they've done it, partner on a deal, take 10% of the equity on a deal and learn from that investor and do whatever they say. And your portfolio will grow. I think every real estate agent should be investing. If they're selling property, they should be owning it.
You mentioned webinars. Is that something that you advocate as well for? You mentioned one of your clients in Vancouver, I think you said, is
She's in,
producing webinars.
yeah, she's in Ontario, but yeah, she's going to be doing some webinars, and it's just going to be uh, any like webinar or meetup or something along those lines. It just builds your brand and it builds your authority. So it shows investors that, hey, this woman does know what she's talking about. She's going to co-host it with a mortgage broker that's going to talk about investment financing and strategies. And that just shows, like, that's just another outlet. You can use it for content because, as we all know, real estate agents' content is their lifeblood. They need to be online or they're not going to be seen. And this is just another way to be out there.
I love that that was exactly where I was going next, was uh, how powerful repurposing a webinar can be, and how one webinar can live on. It can become evergreen through all sorts of different types of content, blog posts, YouTube videos, social
Absolutely.
media posts,
Yeah.
reels, you name it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we just
Yeah. Produce.
did one the other day about AI in real estate and how important and how every real estate agent should be using AI every single day. Every business owner. I mean, all
Yeah.
of us, we should be using AI every day. And if you're not, because you don't understand it, because it's too overwhelming, I get it. But there's so many easy things you can use it for just to get started. And that was like, we had 30 people in that webinar and they were all just like, wow, like this stuff, this is here. It's new and it's exciting and it's got to be learned.
Speaking of webinars, I just watched a webinar by a marketer who was, the topic of the webinar was how to repurpose webinars, right?
Yeah.
And so it was really funny, but he wrote a book, which also I love that publishing has gotten to be a little bit easier now, because I think having a book is such a solid way of demonstrating, um, you know, subject matter expertise. But he wrote a book. The title of it was called "Create Once, Publish Forever," and that that basically underlines that concept that you were just talking about.
Yeah, and I actually just did that as well. I've been working on a book, a little ebook. It's not long, but it's just about how to work with investor clients and just some of the key things that you need to do. And again, it goes to language. It shows some like cap rate and like the explanation and some brief like math on how an example would work. And I mean, again, it's all about building a brand and authority in
Yeah.
your market. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I love that idea of a local agent partnering with a mortgage lender or a broker who understands investment financing,
Yeah,
and putting together a webinar, a lunch and learn, a
exactly.
coffee event, anything like
Absolutely.
that. I think that would be really powerful.
And not a lot of them are doing it. Like there's nobody in our market that's really doing this consistently. There'll be an event once in a while, but that's the other thing is consistency is key. You can't just kind of come in, do 2 webinars and then
Yeah,
disappear because, you know, you're not building you're not building the authority over time. You're just kind of a flash in the pan and then, oh, this didn't work, or maybe I didn't get a client out of the deal, so this isn't for me. All of this takes time, and being consistent with whatever you're doing, whether it be content, meetups, webinars, whatever, that's the key right there, consistency. My first webinar I did was 6 people in there, and they were all local realtors that I knew.
hmm
But they're kind enough to come in and join in the webinar. I rehearsed that thing, I swear to God, 10, 20 times. And I was, okay, 35 to 45 minutes. I know it. That's what it'll be. I raced through that thing. I was done in 16 minutes because I was so nervous. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, why are these people listening to me? But now as I go, I just get better and better and better. And now we're having like webinars are just conversations like this. That's how you look at them. You're just talking to somebody. And when you can look at it like that, it becomes easier and easier.
that's right. Practice makes perfect.
That's it.
Or practice makes better, right?
Practice
Never
makes
really
better. Yeah.
perfect, but don't let perfect get in the
That's
way,
it.
like don't let perfect get in the way of good. So
Yeah,
most of the time good is just fine.
absolutely.
What are some tips or advice that you could offer for real estate agents when it comes to how to uh how to get their feet wet in the investing scene and work with investor clients?
Yeah. So, I mean, first choice is call me and we'll work together. But if you
Sure.
just want to like do your own research, like, I mean, the first book I read that like even started my investment journey was Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm sure we've all read it. It's the most popular book ever, and we've all read that. But getting into the nitty gritty, start buying books or watching YouTube videos. Like, there's tons of stuff out there. Even on TikTok, there's tons of people giving free advice on investment. So learn the language, learn how to analyze a simple property, and learn how to do the cash flow, learn what the financing would look like find out what you would actually make on a property, and just start analyzing 2 properties a week. They don't have to be for sale. They can be imaginary properties. Get ChatGPT to give you a hypothetical situation. And then the most important thing is networking. So go to meetups. Like, most major cities have meetups, or they could be online. There's virtual meetups all the time. Like, start joining those communities. Get on Facebook. Go to investor groups. Like, type in, for example, Toronto investors or whatever, or Birmingham, Alabama investor group. Like, start typing in those into Facebook, and you'll find these groups, and then you'll start to see the posts, and you'll start to see what people are talking about, and you'll start to meet clients. And that's what I would do. Just start slow. Don't overwhelm yourself. But it's really not that hard, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Learn the language. That was a really good
Learn the
uh,
language. Learn the language.
initial point.
Yeah.
And there's so much free content out
So,
there, and it's and really good content
yeah.
that's
Like
being shared through
my ebook.
through YouTube.
Yeah. My ebook's free. I can send it to anybody who's wanting to listen. We can put it in the show notes if you want. I don't care.
Yeah,
Like, that's just, again, just the basic step by step of what you can do now. And it'll take you an hour to read the book. It's not huge. Implement those practices, and you'll start to see your business pick up. Guaranteed. You're meeting the clients that are
absolutely.
buying the properties.
So I love that you brought that up, because I'm a
Yeah,
firm believer and advocate of networking.
absolutely. And like, I hate door knocking. I hate when coaches and people say, "Oh, go door knock." I don't know about you, but when somebody knocks on my door at 6 o'clock in the evening, I'm not happy to see them. Right. So take that hour you were going to walk around your neighborhood and door knock, and go to an event. Because those people that are at the event went to the event on purpose to meet other people that want to do business, right? You're going to knock on 100 doors. You might get 2 people that'll take your card, but you're going to get your door slammed in your face more often than not. So I don't know. That's how I would spend my time. I'd be going to events.
Ryan, this has been awesome, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to join the podcast. I will
Yes,
definitely have the link for the book in the description for this episode. Of course, I'll tag you on social media. Share with listeners how they can learn more and connect with you.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. That's the best way. And I know I put it in the show notes, Grafton Capital. And then you can go to graftonelevate.com. That'll give you, we have all the program information in there. I write a daily email you can subscribe to, and you can find the book and other resources on there as well.
Awesome. Yeah, again, I'll have the links in the description, and we'll share everything on social media as well. Daily email. Do you batch that? And do
No,
you batch that content, or do you write it every day?
I write it every day. So I do Monday to Friday, so not on the weekends. But it's one of those things where I decided to do it 3 weeks ago, and it was a little bit challenging the first week. And now I'm in a groove. And now it's just part of my morning routine, where I sit down with my cup of coffee after I've done, the wake up and yoga and walk the dog and all that kind of stuff. And it's a really good opportunity to reflect on what I'm going through as an entrepreneur and how to teach those lessons to other entrepreneurs and other real estate agents out there. But yeah, it seems like a daunting task, but then you just get into the groove, and it's just something that you can use every day.
Yeah, and it's probably as helpful for you as it is for your readers, right?
Absolutely.
Sounds like something that would be. It reminds me sort of the concept of journaling,
Yes.
and so yeah, I love that. I think that's awesome. All right, Ryan. Well, again, I'll have all the links, and I really appreciate you taking the time to join the podcast. This has been awesome. Let's circle back and do it again.
Would love to. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
All right, big thanks again to Ryan Grafton for joining the podcast. If you'd like to learn more about what Ryan does, check the links in the description for this video, and I'll have links to Ryan's contact information, as well as the entire podcast episode. If you'd like to listen to that, you can stream from epicagentspodcast.com or from Apple Podcasts. So Thanks a lot for joining. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. I drop an episode at least once a week, usually twice a week. So appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you next time.